On today's show, we're talking about diamonds in data centers and how they could help data center sustainability and keeping AI chips cool. Also, Amazon has new pharmacy kiosks for one-click prescription pickup, and creative platforms are embracing the new Sora 2 API for AI video generation, and there's no visual watermark if you use these platforms. Plus, Google has a new computer use model, all on New Tech Nightly, recorded tape to live from the Big Pink building in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. Let's get into the tech news. Okay, for our first story, data centers are grappling with a heat and energy crisis as power-hungry AI chips waste over half of their energy as heat. This excess heat is shortening chip lifespans, and it forces expensive cooling. But now, engineers are turning to an unexpected solution: synthetic diamond layers that conduct heat far better than traditional copper. There's a report from the New York Times talking about how startups and labs are growing ultra-pure, single-crystal diamond wafers to attach on chips. Diamond Foundry uses carbon plasma to grow 4-inch diamond discs polished atomically smooth, which can be bonded to chips to eliminate hotspots. Another company, Element 6, which is actually part of De Beers' tech arm, developed a copper diamond composite that's more affordable and aims to extend AI chip lifespans while slashing cooling costs. Academic teams are on board too. At Stanford, there's a researcher exploring diamond layers for 3D stacked chips, a design that packs transistors vertically but runs even hotter. She notes chip heat was already an issue, but with AI workflows, it's like a hockey stick growth curve. The physics are promising. Each carbon atom in diamond bonds to 4 neighbors, creating fast pathways that carry away heat. Now, there are a few challenges ahead. Diamond cooling has huge potential, but it is not commercial yet. Manufacturing costs are high, and making these layers at scale without defects is hard. Now, researchers are racing to prove it's affordable and reliable for mass production, and still, optimism is in the air. Experts are predicting that within a few years, even laptops and phones could sport diamond heat spreaders if the tech matures. In parallel, others are tackling chip heat with microfluidics, liquid cooling on a tiny scale. We've already reported on New Tech Nightly how Microsoft recently tested in-chip microfluidic cooling and found it can remove heat 3 times more effectively than today's best cold plates. It's another promising path to manage the thermal woes of advanced computing as AI systems grow ever more power-hungry. We've previously reported on how it's driving up electricity costs, so developments that reduce the power consumption of data centers is very much needed. Our next story, Amazon's pharmacy kiosks are one-click prescription pickup machines. Amazon is launching automated pharmacy kiosks at select One Medical clinics in Los Angeles this December. Patients leaving a doctor's appointment can immediately pick up common prescriptions, think antibiotics, asthma inhalers, blood pressure meds, within minutes on site. It's Amazon Pharmacy's first venture into in-person pickup after years of mail-order-only service. So during your visit, the provider would send your prescription to Amazon Pharmacy, you'll get a QR code, and at the kiosk, you'd scan it and a robotic system dispenses your medication in a sealed package. Now, a licensed pharmacist verifies every order and is available via live video chat for any questions. Notably, no personal info shows on the kiosk screen. You can even pick up a phone headset at the machine for a private consult, keeping the experience discreet and secure. Now, the kiosk will stop many routine medications but will not carry controlled substances or those needing refrigeration, and inventory is tailored to what local providers prescribe the most. So for safety, higher-risk meds are not offered, and some actions may require extra verification, similar to an ATM but for prescriptions. Amazon emphasizes that all health data is protected with encryption and standard privacy measures. Amazon plans to expand beyond California in 2026 and is even in talks with other health systems to put kiosks in their facilities. This pilot is as much about learning workflow and demand as it is about convenience. And really, these kiosks are tying together Amazon's recent health investments. Of course, Amazon bought online pharmacy PillPack in 2018. Then it acquired One Medical in 2023 to get brick-and-mortar clinics. And now it's combining them using One Medical's locations as pickup hubs for PillPack's pharmacy service. This strategy could cut delivery costs, shipping is one of Amazon Pharmacy's biggest expenses, and boost patient satisfaction by solving the "I need my medication now" problem. It's a small start, but a notable step in Amazon's effort to make healthcare more instant and consumer-friendly. All right, moving on to our next story. Samsung's tiny AI model is outsmarting bigger models. Samsung researchers have unveiled a tiny recursive model, or TRM, an AI with just 7 million parameters. In model terms, that's not very much, and that is outperforming models hundreds or thousands of times larger on reasoning tasks. This 7 million parameter network bested much heftier AI models like Gemini 2.5 Pro and DeepSeek R1 on tough benchmarks including logic puzzles and abstract reasoning tests. It's a bold demonstration that less might be more in some AI problems. And it's interesting how it works because unlike larger models that spit out answers in one go, TRM uses a recursive reasoning loop. It starts with an initial guess, then repeatedly refines its answer through up to 16 self-feedback cycles. Essentially, the model writes and revises a scratchpad of reasoning, improving a little each time. This model helps catch mistakes, much like a person working through a problem step by step, erasing errors and trying again. And TRM achieves this with a single small network that updates both its thought process and answer in tandem. A simpler approach inspired by a prior two-network system called HRM. And the results really are striking. I mean, TRM solves 87% of extreme Sudoku puzzles, where most large language models score 0%. It also reached 85% on a maze-solving challenge and about 45% on the notoriously difficult ARC reasoning test. So for context, its ARC score is beating many larger models, so this tiny AI not only holds its own, but it embarrasses far larger systems on certain logic problems. Samsung's TRM is early evidence that efficiency in AI might not require billions of parameters if we let models think in iterative, human-like ways. Smaller models could mean AI that runs on devices with less computing power or at lower cost, which could expand access and increase sustainability. This work also validates ideas in AI research about using chain of thought and self-correction to improve reasoning. Notably, leading AI figures are taking note. One of the creators of the ARC test called the results impressive. It's a reminder that sometimes teaching AI how to think can beat sheer size. And with TRM's success, researchers are gently optimistic that we can build smarter, more resource-light AI in the near future. Moving on to our next story, it's more Sora 2 news because OpenAI's powerful new text-to-video model is quickly finding ways into producer and creators' hands. And that's because a handful of creative platforms have already integrated the new Sora 2 API into their services, letting users generate AI-driven video clips without watermarks, unlike OpenAI's direct offerings in the Sora app or in the Sora web interface. For instance, popular avatar video maker HeyGen had early access and is enabling its users to create high-quality AI avatar videos with dynamic B-roll scenes from Sora 2 just by typing what they want. Similarly, platforms like Krea and FreePic have rolled out Sora 2 in their AI toolkits so creators can conjure up custom footage on demand. Now, this means you don't have to do a watermark workaround because early adopters had noticed Sora's own app stamped a watermark on their AI videos, which led to a whole bunch of hacks and workarounds online. But now with official integrations, creators can get a clean video output ready to drop into projects. So this lowers friction. You don't need, of course, that brings up a lot of potential ethical concerns, but it should be noted that even though there are no visual watermarks, all Sora 2 videos do have other hidden watermarks embedded into the outputs. And while there's a lot of backlash against Sora 2, and especially the Sora 2 app that looks like an endless TikTok AI slop feed, from OpenAI's perspective, they see this type of technology getting released in the coming months in an open source capacity, meaning that based on the progress of AI technology, it's inevitable that this kind of AI video tool sets that can create realistic videos and potentially deepfaking anyone that has just a photo of them online will become widespread very soon. And from OpenAI's perspective, getting this kind of technology out into the hands of people as soon as possible and in a more controlled fashion, through the Sora app that did have visual watermarks and other embedded protections like the controls on how the cameos can be used, that this would kind of get society ready for a future we're quickly walking into where deepfaking can happen on a mass scale and will be very, very hard to control. If OpenAI didn't release Sora 2, this kind of technology would still be pushing forward, and open source models are coming out all the time that are rivaling the frontier models. And a big part of OpenAI's mindset is, well, let's kind of get society prepared for this transition towards extremely powerful AI systems and try to do that in the most thoughtful way possible. But of course, this is not clear cut. There's a whole bunch of questions, and a lot of people have brought up a lot of valid concerns about Sora 2. And now that the Sora 2 API is released, it is even easier to get a watermark-free video out of this model, at least one that's a visual watermark, because like I said, there are other ways to detect their Sora 2 videos are AI that are secretly embedded into these outputs. Our next story is about Google's Gemini 2.5 computer use model. This is a brand new model from Google DeepMind that is a specialized AI designed to interact with real user interfaces on our behalf. So in plain terms, this model can control a web browser or an app like a human user, clicking buttons, typing into fields, scrolling pages, and navigating through websites to complete tasks. It's built on Google's advanced Gemini AI, but tuned specifically to understand graphical user interface elements and actually take actions. This matters because most AI assistants today are limited to conversational chatting or, at best, calling other APIs. And there's a whole bunch of agentic tools as well that have been released in the recent months, but they aren't super widespread. Although I think that could be debated, as with ChatGPT's agent mode recently rolled out and other services, more agentic tools are becoming more mainstream. So Google's new model is really leaning into this computer use functionality, and it gives their AI an ability to do tedious clicking and form filling, for example. If you needed to update a spreadsheet in a web app or pull information from a site, this AI could do it by seeing the page via a screenshot and then mimicking user actions. Now, this isn't new. Anthropic's had computer use models out for a while now, like over a year, I think. And of course, OpenAI has computer use models. But Google reports that their new computer use model outperforms other state-of-the-art computer use AIs on several benchmarks, and it does so with lower latency. Now, Google, of course, said it's still an early model and it can make mistakes, but even so, this is progress in a new phase of general-purpose AI agents. And Google has baked in safety features directly into the model. Certain sensitive actions will always require user confirmation, and the AI is trained to recognize when it's dealing with things like payments or personal data. There are also protections against prompt injection, where a malicious website could have content that tries to trick the AI. Google's stance is that responsible innovation is key here, and they're rolling this out carefully, with only developers testing this in a sandbox before they start unleashing it widely. Well, thanks for tuning in to New Tech Nightly, and if you're based in Portland, Oregon, there's an opportunity to actually join this show. We want this to be more conversational. This version's kind of the soft launch, and we want multiple hosts sharing different perspectives. So if you're in Portland and you'd like to join the show, please reach out at hello@resonantworks. I'll see you tomorrow.